Welcome to Gulfstream Park. It is March 12th, 2014. Christina Bosnack is here, joined by our main man, and that is Mike Welsh from the Daily Racing Forum. And Mike, we have another beautiful day here, and I mean, it's
gorgeous.
I know it. Really,
I feel so bad for the people up north.
I know.
I heard Saratoga and Western New York and Albany. That area is getting crushed by another snowstorm. So it's really nice to be down here.
Yeah, it is, and to get away from that weather. But we've just had a really big weekend of racing, not only here at Gulfstream, but across the country. And Mike, let's just take a quick look back at what happened this weekend. We're going to start with the Gulfstream Park handicap, and we saw the return of not one but two North American Classic winners, and that was 2013 Belmont Stakes winner Palace Malice, and Uncaptured, who won the Prince of Wales, and that's a Canadian, the second jewel in the Canadian Triple Crown, and both of them running in this race. Mike, what a race.
This was a great race, and you see Palace Malice on the rail, got passed by Uncaptured, who's in the middle, looked like he was going to win it. Now it looks like on the outside Golden Ticket's going to win it. And lo and behold, Palace Malice digs in, shows his class, and comes back and hangs on for or comes back again to register. Just an outstanding, very gutsy victory. It shows his heart. It showed his versatility, turning back to a mile, coming off the layoff. Just a great performance, and it bodes well. Just another really good horse for the handicap division this year. And we're going to see a few more in a second. They raced out in Santa Anita. The older handicap division is just going to be fun to watch all year long.
It is, and it also showed his speed, I thought. A lot of people, he did win the Belmont over a mile and a half. This was at a mile, so it shows that he's a very quick horse. And also, we have to mention the Golden Ticket, who you saw finished a very good second. He won the Travers. He was a dead heat winner of the Travers last year. So
it looks like he might be going on a kind of a 7/8 of a mile to a mile campaign now. I talked to Ken McPeak this morning. It looks like they're going to point for the Carter with maybe the Met Mile after that on their radar. Palace Malice, Todd Pledger said, I don't know what I'm going to do with him next. He said, you don't see too many horses where your decisions could be between the Met Mile and the Brooklyn Handicap. One in a mile and a half on the same card. That's a little further down the road. He's got to be pretty tired off of this effort. I'm going to guess that it's going to be a little bit before we see Palace Malice. Todd's going to let him recover from this very grueling but very impressive performance. It
was very impressive, and we look forward to seeing them down the line. But another horse, we'll shoot out west to Santa Anita, and it was Big Cap Day. Santa Anita Handicap, and we had two horses that had raced here at Gulfstream Park. Mucho Macho Man, winner of the Sunshine Millions Classic. We also had Will Take Charge, who was a really good second in the Grade 1 Dawn. They were facing the local hero, and that is Game On Dude from the Bob Baffert barn. What a great race.
Yeah, a lot of people have given up on Game On Dude, but look, he's a different horse when he makes the lead. He didn't make the lead in the Breeders' Cup, and in the Santa Anita Handicap, he got to relax up front. A great ride by Mike Smith. Will Take Charge, another big race for Will Take Charge, just not good enough. I mean, the final time, 1:58, a mile and a quarter. That's racehorse time. You really don't see that too often. Of course, the disappointment was Mucho Macho Man, the 6-5 favorite over the same track that he won the Breeders' Cup Classic on. A disappointing effort for sure. He comes back to Gulfstream this afternoon. He'll arrive around dinner time. Kathy Ritvo told me. She said he bounced out of the race fine. The next morning, he was bouncing around the shed row, she said. She really has no explanation. They're going to go over him with a fine-tooth comb once they get him back here to see if there's something they might be missing. So no plans for him yet until he gets back to the track and returns to training. Hopefully everything is okay, and we'll see him back in action within the next, I'm going to guess 5, 6, maybe 7 weeks.
Well, a very fast track at Santa Anita that day, and I was really impressed with Will Take Charge. I thought he ran a tremendous race, but he was probably placed a little more forwardly than we expect him to be, and he still ran a really great race. I thought that was not even necessarily how he really wants to run his race.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Wayne Lucas knew that Game On Dude, if he got loose on the lead, was going to be tough to catch, and you needed to be close up. He didn't want to let Mucho Macho Man get too much of a jump on him either. And again, as I said, a terrific effort here. That's two big races. races in a row for him. He was second to Leah here, who's also now jumped up into the picture big time in the handicap division. So it's going to be fun to see where everybody kind of shakes out, where they go next, and who avoids who as we go down the line. Everybody, of course, pointing for the Breeders' Cup Classic back at Santa Anita again later this year.
And Lee, who did win the Grade 1, Don here over Will Take Charge in his latest start. But another horse that has done really well at Gulfstream, won the Gulfstream Park Turf Handicap and was shipped west for the Grade 1 Kilroe Mile, and that's Lochte. And Mike, he ran a huge race for Marcus Vitale. He just was all guts in here, and winning prize from the Neil Drysdale barn, he got the victory, but there was no shame in defeat from Lochte.
No, same trip for Lochte as he got here, winning the Gulfstream Park Turf Handicap. Got through on the inside, except this time the horse on the lead, winning prize, wouldn't give it up. It was just too tough. But Lochte was easily second best, a couple of lanes clear for second. Two huge efforts in a row, shipping cross country, going to the winner's home track. So you got to tip your hat to him. He was coming back on, I don't know, 3-4 weeks only off a lifetime best performance. So I guess he's back home now, or maybe he's coming back in the same plane today as Mucho Macho Man. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Marcus. I don't know what's going to be next, but could be a race like the Maker's Mark Mile at Keeneland in 3-4 weeks, where a little horse named Wise Van will be waiting for him there.
Exactly. A very exciting horse to have, and certainly at this time of year for Marcus Vitale. But we've got a lot going on here. Let's jump into our 10-race card.
Yeah, this is quite a card for a Wednesday, and for those of you who haven't looked through later in the day, you'll see why in a little bit. But we have a potential Derby horse running here later today, and that's got everybody excited about this Wednesday afternoon program.
We also have the 20-cent Rainbow 6, and there is a carryover at $2.8 million, and that starts in race 5. But we'll kick off with the first race on today's card, and it is a 6-furlong event, a 12-5 maiden claiming race, number 3 Starship Debutante scratched. And my top selection, I went with number 4, Distinctly Sweet. And I know that, Mike, you went with number 1, Broadway Secret.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a feel for this race at all. So I took a shot with a horse that's been showing big speed going longer, going a mile. Now he gets to turn back to 6 furlongs. So he'll be a lot fitter, at least, now than he was the last couple of times when he ran 6 furlongs. And if he can break from the rail and get to the lead, maybe those last couple of races going longer will help carry that speed against what's a pretty weak-looking field. Distinctly Sweet, as you say, was 6-5 in his only start early in the meet and ran into a buzzsaw, relatively speaking. I mean, it was maiden 12-5. It was no killer, but for that day it certainly was.
Yeah.
The winner won by 15. Someone had to be second. Distinctly Sweet was second, but that effort, repeat of that effort, a little improvement, probably good enough to win here if Broadway Secret or the 2-horse, just run the same kind of races they've been running, which haven't been very good.
And looking on to the second race on today's card, it is a starter optional claiming event with a claiming price of $25,000. There's a mile 16th on the turf course, and there is a scratch. Number 8, Sonia's Angel, and kicks off the early pick 4. And Mike, it looks like we both landed on the same horse. Number 6, Blues and Silvers, who has proven that she likes Gulfstream Park. She has 3 wins over the Gulfstream turf out of 4 starts, but she's been away for a while.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't run since she was claimed, but she's training well. Her last work here was very, very good. It indicated to me that she's ready to run a big race here, and like you say, she loves the course, and I think she fits well in this spot. The pace scenario in here is a little hard to figure, so hopefully she won't get caught up in any kind of a speed duel. And speed has not been as good lately on the grass as it had been several weeks ago. Same on the main track over the weekend. Speed was not quite as effective as it had been for weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to the weekend. So we'll have to see how both these courses play out after lying dormant for the last 48 hours. Wild Suava, Javier Castellano, and Mike Maker seem to win every single race they combine in that are run on the turf here. The horse was an easy 50,000 starter winner in its last start, so I think she's just a logical choice, and here is the one to beat.
Yeah, and I also used a number 2, and that's a 0 game. It's an Irish-bred daughter of High Chaparral, coming into this off of a 3rd last time, and 100,000 allowance optional claiming 3
Yeah,
other
much
than.
better race than here, this one, so I respect that horse as well.
On to the 3rd race on the card. It is a 12-5 claiming event, and it is 7 furlongs on the main track. And my top selection, I went with the number 2, Hot Coffee from the David Fox barn. And really was 6th last time, beaten only about 3 lengths on that particular occasion, but a couple of starts back going a mile, won here at Gulfstream.
Yeah, Western Charm and Hot Coffee are coming out of the same race. Western Charm finished a little bit in front of Hot Coffee. For both horses, the first time in this category, and I think it was a little stronger race than this one is today. Western Charm, you can make a little bit of an excuse for, dueled on the lead, actually got to the lead at the 8th pole, and then got a little tired. Hot Coffee got trapped wide throughout, so both have little bit excuses in here. If Western Charm could just avoid a speed duel with Norway Star, and this track is playing a little bit more to speed again today, I think maybe she could hold on. Big question mark is Taylor Peace in here. On paper, this horse looks like the one to beat, but this is only this horse's second start in over a year, or in a year, and she's only had 1 published work in 2 months. So question marks here on this horse, just enough for me to go against, look for some value in here with the 2 horses that are coming out of the same race.
I agreed, and actually that's exactly the reason why I went in a different direction other than number 5, Taylor Peace, although I did use her in my top selections. On to the 3rd race on today's card. It is an allowance, a starter optional claiming, 25,000 claiming price. Is a mile on the main track, and there is 1 scratch, number 4, Desenhado, and I went with number 2, El Beats. Actually, I didn't go with number 2. I went with number 3, Genteel Citizen. I'm looking up there, and then I realized almost number 2. It's number 3, Genteel Citizen, getting a first-time Lasix. It was after the program was published.
Yeah, I mean, this race is very difficult. You got horses stepping up off of maiden wins, stretching out longer, taking on tougher competition. You got a horse like you said, Genteel Citizen, getting Lasix for the first time. I took Quarton Lake. This horse made a big improvement with blinkers on last time. Got a pretty good number, figures-wise. If she could repeat that, or he could repeat that race, I think that number's big enough to beat these again. A question mark going to a mile. Looks like maybe he can get loose on the inside on the lead if he can break out of that mile chute, which is another if. So obviously I don't really have a big feel for the race, but I took Quarton Lake. Predicting, logical, dropping down, has run okay races three times already at this meeting. It's better than these. Again, the pace scenario and whether you can come from behind today will be a big factor in her chances as she's going to come from out of it.
And looking on to the 5th race on the card, which kicks off the Rainbow Six. And today we do have a carryover of $2.8 million. And my top, it is a 30,000 claiming event, 7.5 furlongs on the turf course. And my top selection, I went with number 8, and that's Forever Conga, coming into this off of a 3rd place effort, beaten only 3/4 of a length, was favored on that particular occasion. But Mike, I see that you went somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, Forever Conga can certainly win. My problem with this horse is he's run 17 times and only has 1 win. He's down on a level now where he's going to win at this level at some point if he can get the right trip.
Right.
He was hung wide last time. He needs some pace, so those are the questions with him. I took Marine. I thought he'd be a little value. There's a subtle class drop here. Even though claiming price-wise he's moving up in price, he's actually moving down in class, because last time, if you notice, he raced against horses that have never won 3 races lifetime. Today, back where he belongs, never win 2. It's actually the 2nd time he's run for a claiming tag since graduation day. So he's in against tougher in all his previous races since he won his diploma. And I just thought he ran well enough against N3Ls to maybe, with the right trip and a repeat of that effort, beat Never Win 2s. Native Gold, if you watch the replay of his last race, between now and then, you'll see this horse got stopped trying to rally along the rail around the 16th pole. Looked like he had some run against similar horses as these, so I also gave him a chance. But very wide open. You can make a case for a lot of horses in here. I guess this is the start to the pick 6, or the Rainbow 6, so those that are playing it are probably going to spread kind of wide in here because there may be some singles later in the day.
Yeah, I think you probably will. On to the 6th race on the card. It is a 62.5 allowance optional claiming race, as we're ready to get all our papers are going to fly away. And it is 6 furlongs on the main track. And there's one jockey change, and that's number 7, Guam Typhoon, will be ridden by Danielle Santano. And my top selection, I went with number 5, Evolution Rocks, from the Jorge Navarro barn. And A couple of starts back was beaten by a very nice horse named Zykov. I have a lot of respect for him. Came back, posted a very, very big number, winning a stake at Calder, Mike, last time.
And beat Dadzy Laugh,
yeah,
who was second, and gave Rebo Bobo all he could handle last time. My only problem, two problems with Evolution Rocks. He's going to be even money, I think, or 6-5. And he's going to have some early company in Dreaming of Nino. Dreaming of Nino is very fast. I think as fast as Evolution Rocks. The question is, if Evolution Rocks gets outrun to the lead, will he run those big numbers that he's been running when he's been on the lead against maybe a little lesser competition? So with that in mind, I just tried to really go outside the book in here and look for a price, and I took He Looks the Part. Now, this horse last time out was completely overmatched in a 3 other than 100,000 optional claimer. He comes back today in an easier spot. He had worked well going into that race. Looks like this pace. He's a closer. I'm going to take a shot in here. Big question mark on Confrontation. He's 3 for 3. My question is, why hasn't he run in 4 months since he won that third race in New York? His works have been just average at best, according to Mike Vesey. Pace scenario will help him, but another question mark here. So I'm going to take a shot when He Looks the Part to try to run down all the speed.
Yeah, and that race does kick off the pick 5. I think you'll probably have to use a couple of them in that race as well. On to the 7th race on the card, and it is a 16,000 claiming event. It is 7.5 furlongs on the turf. And my top choice, I went with number 2, Defiant. And I see that you went with number 3, Cairo 6.
Another race, going to spread in here if you play in the Rainbow 6. I thought Cairo 6 ran well. First time in the category, chasing, loose on the lead. Winner get in line last time. Might have an easier trip today. So I think he'll be a little value. Barzini, I also thought, again, Maker Castellano, 4 wide last time, flattened out late. He might sustain that run today.
And race 8 is one that everybody's going to be having their eye on, and it is an allowance race, mile 16th on the main track. And the horse that's headlining that race is number 4, Honor Code. That's my top selection. And he's a son of AP Indy, very well-bred son of AP Indy. 2 wins from 3 lifetime starts. He was second by a neck, Mike, in the Champagne behind Havana. And last time in the Grade 2 Remsen, he won. He beat a horse named Cairo Prince, who's going to probably be the favorite for the Florida Derby. But here is Honor Code.
Yeah, this was a great race here. And you see a Cairo Prince on the outside actually got past Honor Code. And looks like here the Cairo Prince is going to go on to maybe a half length or a length victory, and Honor Code reasserts himself down on the rail and comes back and just noses out Cairo Prince. These are definitely 2 of the top 5 right now horses on the Kentucky Derby trail. Unfortunately, though, Honor Code got a little behind schedule when he got had a little injury, a little setback in January. First race back today. Obviously, it's a field of 4 horses that are not in his class range, but he is coming off a long layoff. He did miss some training. This is a prep for either the Florida Derby or the Wood. So there are a lot of people that think Social Inclusion off that big debut and with his speed can get to the lead in here and maybe spring the mile upset. I'm not sure which way to go in here. I would not single Honor Code, but I would not bet against him either. Class in these kind of situations usually outs, and I think he's done enough in the morning to run a winning race here. So I think it's one of those 2, and it'll be interesting to see how he fares here and where they go from here. Hopefully he'll stay for the Florida Derby, but more likely, since it's only 17 days away, that Shug will wait for the Wood.
Yeah, we're looking for a big effort from him and hopefully seeing him on Florida Derby Day. On to the 9th race. It is a 75,000 maiden claiming race, 7.5 furlongs on the turf course. And my top selection, Mike, it looks like we both went with the same horse, number 5, Bartiromo from the Chad Brown barn. First time on the turf, a Street Boss, and I say yes.
Yeah, ditto with Street Boss as the sire. It's a bad field. Doesn't have to be much. Mike has one very good work for him up at Palmettos. That's enough for me by default. I'm going with the same horse you are.
And on to the 10th and final race on the card, and it is a 25,000 maiden claiming race, 5 furlongs on the turf. There are a couple scratches, number 6, number 7, blinkers off, number 3. And my top choice, I had to shuffle a little bit, Mike, because of the scratches, but I ended up with number 9 and Chief Dante. Tom Albertrani trains this one, and it's likely going to be showing speed in here.
Yeah, now the Rogue Lady's out, I think Chief Dante will probably make the lead if he can repeat the same race as last time when that Little Michelle race, or Little Michelle came out of the clouds to win. Chief Dante chased actually the favorite in that race, and couldn't get by and got a little tired late. Drops another level, looks loose on the lead. I think Chief Dante will win. I like Adar, and Concord's Fizz was hung wide throughout last time and held in pretty well. Draws inside today, probably will get a better trip.
And that's it for today's card. And as we said, lots to look forward to. The Rainbow Six in race 5, $2.8 million is the carryover. We also have Honor Code, and he's the Remsen winner. He's coming back, and should be a great day. Thank you, Mike.
My pleasure. Looking forward to Honor Code later in the day.
And Mike Welsh will be back, as always, on Saturdays. Ron Nicoletti will join me later on this afternoon. Folks, stick around.
Good luck, everybody.